Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law.
You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good, this one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Christine North is suing Aria West in the amount of $1,235. Ms. North claims the defendant begged to be in her wedding party, but then refused to participate, costing her money. Ms. West claims she backed out of the wedding because Ms. North chose an offensive place to have her wedding.
This is the matter of Christine North versus Aria West. Two girlfriends, well, not girlfriends, you're the girlfriend of the groom. Having a wedding, she's in your bridal party and suddenly decides, I'm not in the bridal party. You want her to pay you for the dress because she bowed out of the wedding. Is that right?
Correct.
Now tell me what happened, Ms. North.
Your Honor, Aria, she is basically ruining our marriage.
Your marriage?
Yes, ma'am. She forced her way into our wedding. She was demanding over all the dresses that she liked, and she made a big scene at the bridal shower when I finally revealed where the wedding venue was going to be, and I do believe that she does owe for the remaining balance of the dress.
So now you're married, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so she's your husband's friend.
Right.
And you didn't want her in the wedding?
I didn't at first, but
nor at last?
Yes, ma'am. Because they were best friends for a long time, I felt she needed to be embraced, and that could also give me room to get to know her as well, and I got to know her, and so I feel like she's trying to ruin our marriage.
Well, if they are best friends and you two married and you barely got to know her, when did you first meet her? Was it a day before the wedding or something?
No, ma'am. It was at the bridal shower.
That was the first time you met her?
Yes, ma'am. All he did was talked about her.
So during your courtship, he talked about this woman a lot?
Correct.
So you didn't like her because of that, all right?
Pretty much.
And the defendant said something to you at the bridal shower?
Correct. She just said something. She made an outburst. It was embarrassing.
What was the outburst?
How could I want to have a wedding at a plantation?
Oh, and none of your bridal party knew where the wedding was going to be until the bridal shower?
Correct.
So when she said, how can you have a wedding on a plantation, what did that do to you?
I did choose to have the wedding there because it was a beautiful venue, despite the fact of its history. It's not advertised as a plantation anymore. So therefore, it's romantic there, it's beautiful. I've always dreamed of wanting a wedding somewhere gorgeous. And like I said, despite the fact that of its history, it was still gorgeous, and I believe there are beauty in ashes.
Is there any reason why you didn't want anyone to know that your wedding would be on a plantation?
I feel like maybe it would scare them away.
So you thought others would be scared as well and not want to participate?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, so you took a chance to go and buy these dresses to pay for the venue and to plan the wedding, concerned that your wedding party may not want to participate if it were on a plantation. So you ran the risk of being out of money.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your dream came true.
It did.
Let me hear from you, Ms. West.
Hi. So first of all, I have met her on more than one occasion. I live in Augusta and she lives in Atlanta. So I met her over FaceTime quite a few times when I was contacting Sam. So she has seen me prior to that.
Well, she may not call that meeting FaceTime.
Yes, I understand that. But I'm saying, like, I tried to make emotional connections with her and speak to her while I was on the phone. Okay. Because I did want to get to know her, especially since Sam speaks so highly of her.
How long have you and Sam been friends?
Since we were like 7 years old.
Oh, you little puppy friends.
Yeah.
Playing in the sandbox together.
Yes.
Okay.
So when it comes to the dress itself, her as well as I and the entire bridal party all went to the dress shop. I helped in voicing my opinions on the dress as well as everyone else. Ultimately, they ended up picking the dress that I liked the most. So I will agree that I did have a high influence in which dress they picked. She said that she was going to pay for them completely and that we would all put down a $500 deposit, which I did attribute to. Later at her...
You mean she was going to pay in advance?
Yeah, she paid the dresses, yes.
Because a $500 deposit doesn't sound like she's paying for it.
Yeah,
so she's going to pay out of pocket to make sure that everybody's dress is there, but then you all would have to reimburse her.
Yes, and to pay in installments.
How much did it cost?
$1,700.
Wow. Each bridesmaid?
Yes.
What kind of dress was this?
A beautiful one.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
Did you look for someone else?
She didn't give me enough time because
She
it
said
was
it was 3 weeks before the wedding.
It was 3 weeks before the wedding,
There
and I
had
didn't
been
have
no fitting.
She did go to a
There
fitting.
had been no fitting. She said that she hadn't gone to a fitting.
She went to a fitting.
I attended no fitting.
And later,
Yeah, no, nothing's okay. Are you
And couldn't
kidding
you
me?
say from across the room?
You know what? Shame on me. Shame on me.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Christine North, who is suing Aria West for $1,235.
Where is the picture?
I have the receipt here.
Oh, I want a receipt. I want a picture.
I don't have a picture.
Oh, wow. All this beauty and nobody brought pictures. Shame. I'll imagine. Go on.
So at her bridal shower, she decided to finally announce the location of the wedding, and that was about 3 weeks before the wedding. And while we were there, she announced that it was going to be on the plantation. Personally, I felt morally obligated to voice that I wasn't comfortable with it being on a plantation, and I told her that I would no longer be attending the wedding because for me, I don't respect what it is to celebrate on the grounds of suffering and despair that people from my culture and heritage have experienced. So when I dropped out of the wedding after that point, after we had our argument, I sent her a letter so I could be kind, cool, and collected, and told her that I would allow her to keep the $500 deposit, but I wasn't going to pay for a dress that I've never touched and never worn.
But it's being custom made for you.
But I never went to a fitting. So in technicality, I just paid $500
So all
towards
you
something I
guys
haven't
just picked
had.
out the dresses?
Yes.
And paid a deposit?
Yes.
But you never went to a fitting?
No.
So it's never been customized for you?
It's not my dress.
Okay. Let me see the letter you wrote her.
Do you have the letter?
I do.
Mr. Bastian,
Yes.
come on up here. Join this party. Why are these... didn't you know Ms. West since you were 7 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell your wife that before, at the time, your fiance, and say to her, look, now we're gonna have this wedding on the plantation, since she already had feelings that some people may not approve, did you say to her, I don't think my friend Aria would approve?
No, I never did because I was afraid to let her know.
Because you really knew Aria wouldn't.
Yeah, she wouldn't.
Okay, the letter says, I see you don't handle confrontation well. Did you guys get to yelling and screaming at each other
Yes,
at the
she
bridal
began
shower?
to yell at me at the bridal shower.
Oh. I think that the only thing that should happen at a plantation is a tour that showcases the horrors that happen there. I'm pain-ridden when I think of what people suffered there, and I cannot imagine attending an event at a plantation and enjoying myself. Did you look for someone else?
She didn't give me enough time because
She
it
said
was
it was 3 weeks before the wedding.
It was 3 weeks before the wedding,
There
and I
had
didn't
been no
have.
fitting.
No one could fit her size. She did go to a
There had
fitting.
been no fitting. She said that she hadn't gone to a fitting.
She
I
went
attended
to
no
a fitting.
I attended no fitting.
It was for her. It was for her size, and I could not find
Okay,
anyone.
well, even if you hadn't attended a fitting yet, when they ordered the dresses, because you did go and pick it out, they order according to size.
Okay.
And so the fitting is, if I need to alter something for your tiny little self, then I got to do something like that, right?
Understood.
So you had ordered the dress for you in your size.
Yes.
And was any other bridemaid or any of your other friends close to her size?
No, Your Honor.
So there was no one else that you could substitute for her?
Not for the time being, no.
Okay, but since the dress hadn't been altered, wouldn't the bridal shop allow you to return the dress and forfeit the deposit? Since the dress hadn't been altered, it was just an ordered dress. And she said, I don't care, forfeit the deposit.
I don't think it was, no.
No.
No, we couldn't.
Why?
Because I guess, I don't know, because it felt like it was 3 weeks. They wanted like a 4 weeks notice.
Did you ask?
No.
Thank you. You ain't even ask. Now, usually the bridal shop is concerned and they do not like dresses returned once they've done the alterations. If that dress was just ordered in a size 7 or whatever, no, 3.
2.
2 or 3, in a size 2, then they would be able to sell that dress in another size 2 if they haven't touched it.
Nobody at our bridal shower was a size
Right,
2.
nobody in your bridal party could do so, but the bridal shop would not have been out of money except the deposit, and she said, okay, forfeit the deposit.
She's still
So you
obligated.
went out and bought the dress anyway and nobody could wear it?
I had already paid for the dress. She just gave
Okay,
me the
did you take it
500.
back?
No, ma'am.
No, we couldn't,
Why not?
because it was already too late.
You didn't try.
No, we did.
3 weeks notice?
Well, I guess it's because we were caught at the moment. It was our
Just
wedding
caught
day.
up and angry and mad. Right?
Possibly, yeah.
Now, so in my opinion, all you lost was the $500. All you lost was $500 because that was your deposit. I think you still can take the dress back. Where is it? Who wore it?
No one wore it.
Oh, shoot. And a dress that cost $1,700. I know you can take that dress back if nobody has worn it. Please. She didn't know at the time she agreed to be in the wedding and agreed to buy the dress. She didn't know all of the facts. You withheld facts and information from her, which was important to her decision-making to be in the wedding. So had you told her all the facts, and then she later decide, I don't want to do that, that's a different story. But you had your suspicions that someone wouldn't like it. And your suspicions were right. She didn't like it. Judgment for the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I'm sorry. I didn't let you know where I was going to have my wedding.
I'm glad that we can come to an understanding, and I hope we can move on from here.
Coming up,
He didn't. He was saying, everything okay? From across the room? Yeah, no, nothing's okay. Are you
And couldn't
kidding
you
me?
say from across the room?
You know what? Shame on me. Shame on me.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Nolan Smith is suing Anne Marie Paulson in the amount of $250. Mr. Smith claims Ms. Paulson hired him to entertain at her son's birthday party, but says the defendant refused to pay him. Ms. Paulson claims her son was traumatized by the plaintiff's clown costume, so she shouldn't have to pay.
Mr. Smith, you're suing Ms. Paulson for $250, which is your fee for entertaining the children at a party as the clown.
Yes, ma'am.
And now Ms. Paulson refuses to pay you that, though you did the work.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about it.
So for the first 30 minutes of that hour, I actually have a clause in the contract that states that I will leave the party with no payment if she just tells me that it's not going well, she doesn't want me there. I'm an honest man, and I want to provide the best service I can.
And you stayed there your entire hour?
I did, yes, ma'am. So within the first 30 minutes, I asked her twice. I asked, is this bothering your son? I can clearly see he's crying. It's no problem for me. I'll leave, no payment. I just want to do what's best for him. And she told me to stay.
But the other kids, of course, were enjoying you.
Yes, ma'am. They were all smiling. And afterwards, I also got 2 parents that came up to me, and they want me to work for their children's birthdays as well.
Good. So
Yes, ma'am.
what happened, Ms. Paulson? Why you don't want to pay this man?
Well, Your Honor, my son, James, who's a 2-year-old birthday boy, as soon as he saw Bubbles, threw a tantrum, and he got extremely upset. And I was just trying to console him. He would not let me put him down. I was just rocking him and trying to settle him down. So when he is saying that he asked me in 30 minutes if he wanted to stay, I mean, I was trying to console my child who was traumatized.
Coming up,
From across the room? Yeah, no, nothing's okay. Are you
And couldn't
kidding
you
me?
say from across the room?
You know what? Shame on me. Shame on me.
closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Nolan Smith, who is suing Anne Marie Paulson for non-payment of services.
So why didn't you say no? Leave.
I was trying to be polite and I didn't want to kick him
No, you had
out.
a contract that said if it's not okay in 30 minutes, tell him and he'll leave. Now, I don't know anyone who allows that type of leeway in a contract who is that sensitive and concerned about a child's welfare. You're the parent. This young man said, do you want me to leave? There's a simple yes or no.
Your Honor, I can understand that, but I feel as though in this situation, he really needs to develop a little bit more of an emotional intelligence. Nothing was okay at that time. My
What was
child
he supposed to do?
screaming, leave, like he said. This traumatized him. 6'2" man standing over him, bellowing happy birthday. Something
minute.
was not right.
Did he have
And
the
this gentleman knew that. He knew it. I was just trying to console for my child.
You hired that 6'2" man. When he walked in there and your son started crying and was a little afraid, you pulled your son away from him. Did you go to another room?
Yes, I did.
To try to console your son?
Yes, I did.
And the clown stayed there with the other people?
Yes, he did.
So then he asked you, shall I leave? And you couldn't say yes or no?
He didn't. He was saying, everything okay? From across the room? Yeah, no, nothing's okay. Are you
And
kidding
couldn't you
me?
say, from across the room?
You know what? Shame on me. Shame on me. You know, I was very upset at the moment. I was trying to just
Oh,
console.
Miss Paulson, come on, you're a parent.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
You're a parent, you're an adult. You can do more than one thing at a time. You have to make decisions when children are upset all the time, and you have to make decisions in the spur of the moment. You weren't that upset, you could have just said, leave. Some parents may have wanted him to stay and let the other kids have fun, even though the 2-year-old, like most 2-year-olds or 1-year-olds' first birthday parties, they cry a lot. They don't want to be bothered with anybody. They don't want to do anything. And usually the parents have to hold them and take them somewhere else, but they let the party go on for the other kids' sake. That's typical. So he needed to know from you, do I stay? Do I go? All you had to say was yes or no.
I just
The
feel as
shortest
though
2 words in the English language.
I feel as though in the future he should have a little bit more of an understanding when things are not okay. I feel like for his age,
I feel
he
as
needs
though
to.
in the future, you should be more direct. You should read your contract. What more can he do? This young man was totally professional. You could have said, give me a minute. Well, let's see if I can get him calm. Pay that man his money. He did his job, now pay him. Judgment for the plaintiff.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $250.
Ma'am, I'm 6'2", and you're a bigger clown than I am.
This is my son, and I don't apologize for anything.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.